Hello guys, I hope I find you well. Welcome to our very first video on the series of videos that I'll be making on LLB modules. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the law of succession. So today's video is basically going to put the law of succession in the general framework of South Africa's law. So we're just looking at the law of succession and its place, what it entails in terms of South African law. So the most important thing is that law of succession actually falls under private law. Remember, we have public law like criminal law, and we have private law. Private law, which is the law that regulates relationships between individuals. You understand? So that is where law of succession falls. It falls under private law, not in terms of public law. So law of succession in South Africa is actually branched into two. So what are those two branches? Those two branches are, the first one is the common law and the second one is the customary law. So we have two extremes. The first extreme is the common law. The second extreme is the customary law. These two extremes are further divided. The first extreme, which is the common law, is further divided into tested law of succession or interstate law of succession. You understand? So when we say tested law of succession, we are basically saying someone passes away and they leave behind a valid document called a will. So this will is actually telling the executor that this is how I want my property to be divided. You understand? So when someone passes away and they leave behind a valid document called a will, it is said that that person is past tested, or it belongs to tested law of succession. So tested law of succession is basically regulated by the common law rules and the Wills Act, basically that. And now we have the opposite of tested law of succession, which is interstate law of succession. So whereas tested law of succession talks about someone who dies and leaves behind a will, interstate law of succession is basically the very opposite. It talks about someone who passes away and unfortunately they don't leave behind a will. So the question is, what happens now when someone passes away and there's no will whatsoever? How does it go? The property that they leave behind, how is it divided among the people or his relatives? Now we have to refer to the common law rules and we have to refer to legislation. In this case, it is the Interstate Succession Act of 1987. So we have tested law of succession, we have interstate law of succession. Those are two different things. The first one, tested, someone dies with a will. The second one, interstate, someone dies without a will. In terms of tested, it's actually the Wills Act and the common law rules. In terms of the interstate law of succession, it's actually the common law rules and the Interstate Succession Act, basically that. So that is the first extreme. The second extreme now is customary law. Customary law is now a situation whereby someone passes away and their property is divided in terms of customary law. You understand? So the rules of interstate law of succession, when someone, in terms of the customary law, is the Interstate Succession Act of 1987, is the Reform of Customary Law of Succession and Regulation of Related Matters of 2009, and Customary Law Rules. So that is basically that. We have two extremes, the common law and the customary law. Under common law, we have the tested law of succession and the interstate law of succession. And on the other end, on the second extreme, is the interstate law of succession falling under customary law. So these are basically the two branches of succession. So on our next videos, we are now going to be delving more into the principles behind. But for today, it was just an introduction. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thank you.